right, everybody, if you hadn't had me, my name is Clay Harbor, and this is ACR122 electrical circuits. There's a few people in here I hadn't had before, but I'll learn your name pretty quick. I don't have a printout. We're trying to save a little money, but I have placed a syllabus on Blackboard where you can get on Blackboard and read the syllabus, no problem. I'm just going to run over that there for a few minutes today so that everybody knows what's going on, okay? Now this class, the class meets at 9 o'clock. It does have a fair amount of lab attached to it. But if you're here at 3 o'clock, I would say you really have been wasting time. There'd be no reason for you to be here that long unless you're just goofing off, okay? So there is a good bit of lab, a lot of drawing, creating schematic diagrams, but don't let that scare you. So we started at 10. Did I say 9? I'm losing my mind. Pardon me. So Monday and Wednesday,
Get up early.
10 o'clock. There's my office hours. My office is right over here. My number is 929-3474. And you can automatically email me when you get on Blackboard. All you have to do is say, I want to send an email. You can send it to anybody in class or to me. So the course description of this class, basically, the best way to learn to be a good troubleshooter in HVAC is to learn to read schematic diagrams. We will cover what we call wiring diagrams, which are known as picture diagrams, and we'll learn to create and read ladder diagrams, which are really called schematic diagrams. Okay, so we'll spend a good bit of time on that, understanding that you have to learn the symbols to use those. That'll be our first test, and I will assign units out here for you to create schematic diagrams from them, okay? We'll have probably about 4 or 5 tests. We'll have a symbols test. We'll start on an air conditioning condensing unit. We'll go to an air handler, okay, that kind of thing. And we'll move through a heat pump, furnace, and we'll cover some specialties. We'll look a little bit at the the new ECM motors and how they work, okay? Tools. Well, textbooks, I should say. Everybody in here should have taken and passed basic electricity. If you haven't, you need to get with me. We need to get you another class. Depending on when you took it, this is probably the textbook that you had for that class. This is required again. I've already got some assignments on it. Begin reading chapter 4, I believe. I'll hit that before we leave. This is the textbook from basic refrigeration. Everybody in here should have had basic refrigeration, right? Although I think this is the 8th edition. You may have the 7th or the 6th. What is that one? 7th?
I don't know, me and my glass.
Yeah, it looks like it's 7th. They change it every year too, so the edition's not important.
25th anniversary.
We will use this book as a reference text material, okay? So I won't be giving assignments out of it, but if there's something you don't understand, this doesn't have a lot of depth. If you go, I just don't understand what a transformer is, you can go back to this book or a motor or something and look it up. Although, you can find it on the internet too. But this was designed to save y'all money. We used to have, you'd have to buy this book, and then we had a thick electrical book that was about $170. And so, this one's what, 50? So we're just trying to save y'all some money. Tools, we require you to have all the tools from basic electricity, right? So I'll just go over some of that real quick in case you don't remember. You're going to need a meter, electrical meter. You're going to need a flat tip screwdriver, a Phillips, right? You're going to need needle nose. You're going to need wire cutters, tape, strippers. I would say a 1/4 inch, 5/16 nut driver. You can go back and look at that tool requirement from that class. And if you need to, we can print you out a master tool list. But there's no additional new tools here, okay? What do we want to do here? Okay, first off, the modules, if you've probably seen these in every class, is learn to do everything safely. So, going to have eye protection when you're working out in the lab. If you're like me, you need reading glasses. They do make pretty cheap safety glasses with bifocal reading in them, but you're going to need that. And we're going to need to, you see here, wire connectors. We're going to learn to do a little basic electrical wiring, that is with wire nuts, stake cons, the proper methods. Grading, you can see pop quizzes are 10%, our lab performance is 40%, finals 25%, and all the other tests are worth 25%, okay? I usually like to work some extra credit in there for the 25 that's worth the 4 or 5 tests. And so, you know, some people are not really good test takers. They anxiety, whatnot, but they understand it. They're not good at test. So I usually give you the option of doing some extra credit. Attendance, so, you know, based on you. However, only excused absences can be used to avoid a deadline. In other words, if I say, hey, it's due Monday, and you're not here Monday, every class period it drops by a letter grade of what you can. Let's say you did it perfect, you turn it in one class late, instead of 100, you're going to get 90, that kind of thing, okay? Obviously, if you have a valid excuse, that's fine. I think that should about cover it. We do have anyway, if I covered this too quickly, you can get on Blackboard and get it. Now, does everybody feel comfortable getting on Blackboard? Does anybody not know how? Is that a yes or no? Well, let me take you to my Blackboard here. All right, so here's your class. You got a home page. I will put announcements. I think I put welcome to class before. I'm going down here to assignments. I want you to read chapter 4 from the text. That's the small textbook. That's your first assignment. You can see here assignment 2, due November 2nd, will be in your book on page 89 is an assignment, okay? And I'll expect you to do that and turn it in on that day. So I've already got a lot of assignments on here. Now, on here, let me just say, I know this projector is not very clear. We have symbols, because like I said, our first symbol test, we got a lot of different symbols. We'll be working on lots of diagrams. You can see we already have loaded up tons of different diagrams will be covered in class. PowerPoints that I will be covering in class, okay? These will be helpful. If you go, hey, Clay, you're moving too fast, you can go pull it up, go at your own speed. And then finally down here, class videos. Unless the internet crashes, I will record the class. Now this recording will be an audio recording up here, and it'll show whatever I'm showing on the computer at the time, it'll show when you listen to it. So that'll be dated not by date, but by class. Like this would be class 1. I'll probably title it welcome and introduction, something like that. Class 2, 3. So if you get tied up at work or something, you know, you don't have to come to me and go, what did I miss? All you have to do is go to Blackboard and watch it for yourself to see what we covered, okay? And what's expected of you. Any questions? Okay, so bring your textbooks, bring your safety glasses, we'll jump right on in, bring your hand tools, and we'll get started Wednesday on the circuits, okay? Yes, sir.
Click on the tool for me real quick.
The what?
Tool for me. I got it. I don't want to bring in nothing extra. I want to put what you need for class.
Okay, all mine's going to say, let's see, is from same as 121, but we can go here and let's see, find, these are tools for, Blackboard, not tools for the class. Okay, let's see if I've got a master tool list. I may have a master tool list. Okay. Now, I can't guarantee that this is current because Jeff just made some changes. Let me bring this up if I can get to it. All right, so this, I expect you to have the tools from 121. That's basic electricity you should have had. It says a multimeter and a clamp on or amperage meter. And you can get a multimeter that does all that in one. That's what most students do. A wire stripper with a crimper attachment. You can get that for $3 or $4 at Walmart. That's for making stay-on connections. You can buy a heavy-duty Stanley or a brand name for about $20. But I mean, for this class, you can get mine with a fairly cheap one. Linemen or dikes. You don't have to have both. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but that's for cutting large diameter wire. Okay. Needle nose pliers. Okay, everybody knows what needle nose are. A little easier to work on stay-ons to pull them off. A 6-way screwdriver. Okay, that in other words, flat tip, Phillips, come in. And at least a 1/4 inch and 5/16 drive. What was your name, sir? D's? Okay, yes, sir, I see. Some alligator clips. You can either buy these or you can make them. You go down to Radio Shack, buy some alligator clips and put it, on a 10-inch piece of wire. That way you can jump from one place to another to test. A thermostat screwdriver. All this is a very small screwdriver, kind of a little bit bigger than a jeweler's flat tip. Okay, that's for. We see that someone else probably needs to take it off because you rarely see non-digital screwdrivers, thermostats anymore. Pardon me. So, we usually don't have to adjust them, but you still find that on most of y'all's gauges where you can calibrate it. Safety glasses, as I said. Cordless drill, I don't think that's required anymore, but if you're going to be taking covers off, back and forth, it is nice to have that. It makes it a lot quicker. Okay, a 1/4 inch magnetic bit and a 5/16. Okay, if you have a cordless drill, those are very helpful. If you don't have a cordless drill, there's not much point. A magnetic bit fits into the drill. Okay, and so that's nice. But if you don't have a cordless drill, it's not important. Okay. And this is all on Blackboard. You can feel free to print anything off you need. Are there any questions? Are we clear on our first assignment? Please read chapter 4, right? And I wouldn't really do the first assignment yet, the second assignment, page 89. Until we go over it. If you really feel comfortable, if you got it right, do it. But you might want to wait till we talk about it a little bit. No, that's a textbook for it. This is what you should have for basic electricity. All right, that's all I got for you this morning. We'll get started. Yes, sir. All right, so you probably shouldn't be in here. Let's get with Jeff and figure out what we can put you in. Because basic electricity is prerequisite to take this class. If you don't, in basic electricity, I'll study about different kind of circuits and ohms and resistance and how to do power formula, watt formula. So just hang out for a second. We'll go down and see what we do. Anybody else?
The Powerbound book that's going to be available in the bookstore and library?
Now, in the library, I don't know, but in the bookstore, yeah. Now, you have had basic electricity,
Yeah,
but he didn't make y'all buy a book.
I was at a different campus.
Oh, okay, okay. But now, do you have a textbook from there?
Yeah, I have the bigger.
But not a set. Okay, yeah, go ahead. This will be your cheapest option. What's that? Yes, yes.
Alright,
Okay, now. Yes, sir.